Sunday, working in the snow and cold up here at Higginsville. Luckily, we didn't get near the snowstorm they said we were supposed to get. They were calling for, I think, 8 to 10 inches up here, and there might be maybe 2 inches on the ground. It ain't a lot. Already sunny skies, clearing off. We brought the 289 up here, the 299's in Platte City. Some pretty good trees down here along the creek. Kenny's up the creek cutting somewhere. John's on the skidder. The Mike's running around up there in an orange vest somewhere. Pretty good trees down here. Got some size to them, some height. This part of the property goes on the other side of the creek. Looks like there's some tops over there as well. Creek is frozen up, which is good because Mikey's going to do some special operations for us tomorrow. He's going to go across the creek on the other side, on the far south side of this place, and hook chokers for us. We brought some hip boots for him, so that should be entertaining. Well, I'm gonna dig into this one here, get it on the ground. I just heard one fall. We'll get them going, get some drug out. That's a big tree there. Big tree. Good clean cut. Flush the whole way across, which I like. I love when I can get this stump completely flush. I did come down and cut a little low here on the front spur. That's okay. We got her right off there to the ground. Good cut. Let's go up here and see if we can find a few more. John might have a little trouble snaking that one out. It's so long and then crotch to the top. I didn't want to waste anything. Hung up again. That's the problem with these long trees. You get hung up real easy. If I have to do some cutting. You ever seen so many snow geese? It's like this all day up here, every day. Just thousands upon thousands of them. They fly east, they fly west, they fly north, they fly south. I don't think they know where they're going. There's sure a bunch of them though. Cutting some pretty good trees. There's one I just cut right there. It's a good stick of wood there. Got a pretty good in here, getting ready to, oh my, have to zoom way where it doesn't need to be. Just kind of working my way. I went along the creek, then I come up this draw, little drainage ditch of sorts. It's been logged hard in years past. You can see all the old tree tops from what they've cut out of here. There's some good second growth. You can see some big stumps right there. Cut a little bit of everything out of here the first go around. Yeah, there's still some good trees. Quality's real good. They're not just monstrous on the size, but the quality's been phenomenal this morning so far. We haven't even walked. There's a big tall one right up there. It's a good tree. Heck of a tree. We haven't even walked on the other side of the creek. There's a lot of timber to look at over there. I could see it when I was on this side of the creek bank. But, I think I've got enough gas in the tank to get one more on the ground. And this is going to be the lucky contestant here. Got a good stump on it. Good bell stump. At one time, there goes one. At one time, this stump market, and that's a common thing with landowners now. When I go to look at timber, they all talk about stumps, what the stumps are worth. Well, a lot of times the landowners think that the stump by what we leave in the ground. That is a common misconception. When the stump market was big, for when I took a load to the veneer mill at Pleasant Hill, Missouri with my dad 20 years ago, that was the last time we ever did any of them. I was just lucky enough to get to see it in my life. The stump market was about 3 to 5 foot of the log. Now, granted, we would try to dig down as deep as we could go, but when you got real deep into the roots, you were too far. And what they look for is these bell stumps that flared out, that had a lot of figure and swirl in them. One thing my dad always told me to look at, like this bark, how it swirls like that. He said that's how you know you got a lot of figure in the wood. So, and really you had to watch the stumps you did, because a lot of times if you had like a good log like this here, this is a good veneer tree, you would be losing money by taking the stump off of it, because you'd go from having a high dollar veneer tree to just a good lumber log. The trees that really did good on the stump market were like your big rough pasture trees that are now the tabletop logs. Those were the ones where, you know, it wasn't no big deal to lose 3 or 5 foot of the stump, because it was just going to be lumber above it anyway, but you really couldn't justify doing it on your bigger veneer trees. And that market's almost a thing of the past. I don't know of any stump market still up and going. That's not to say that there isn't, but I just don't know of any. Synthetics have just about taken over the gun stock world, so you know, walnut stocks they're not as hot as they used to be now. Always on the fine high-end guns, you're probably always going to have a demand and market for walnut wood or any other kind of real figured rare wood, but it's not like it used to be with all the synthetics and laminates in today's world. So just a little tidbit of information there about the walnut stock before I knock this one down. All right, let's get going. Got a couple here getting ready to come out. This one crotch tree was the one that the last one I showed you, I was about to cut it. Got hung up, which I'm kind of glad. When they hang up and like that, you can kind of control the speed of the fall when you pull them down. And those crotch trees, I'm always worried about busting them, especially when it gets cold like this. They get real brittle. Looks like we're gonna drag some foliage out with that one, some limbs that I've got hung up on there. Still got 3 or 4 more up this little draw here to cut. Mike's walking down here. He's setting chokers for John today. With that orange, it makes it easy for John to see where the next logs are, so it does kind of speed things up in a sense, having Mike and the orange out here. When John comes back, that tree he's going by right now, I'm going to have him push the debris out from around it. And I'll cut it off, or cut it down, should I say. And it's scarred up from the last time this timber was harvested. Their log road went right through here. And it was a bumper tree. And that's a shame, but that's how it goes sometimes. You never know. Sometimes you just got to find the best place to take the logs out you can without doing too much disturbance to everything else. And everything I've seen from the prior harvest, they've done a really good job of harvesting whoever cut the timber before we did. But you can see here, we'll get up to it. And it's not a veneer tree by any means. It's got too many problems, but it's still a good lumber log, but that scar didn't help anything. It's tall. That's always good to get the footage out of it, but just too many knots and limbs to make it a high dollar tree. That's okay. We're kind of like old T.G. Shepherd. We love them, every one. We'll wait till John comes back and we'll put it on the ground. A couple good ones going out. I got one more to cut here, and this is the one I had him push out around up this draw. It's the last one. I've heard heard a lot of trees been falling over that direction, so when I get this one cut, I'm probably getting low on gas anyway, so we'll go check and see what he's doing. I'm getting a little dull, so I need to touch up my chain just a little bit. The guy told me one time about knives, back when I used to do a lot of skinning in my fur shed. He said the secret to keeping a sharp knife is to never let it get it dull. I kind of think the same thing about a chainsaw chain. If you never let it get dull, it's always sharp. Last 2 trees of the day. We're cold. It's about 4 o'clock. We're gonna go back, checked into the hotel, warm up, and come back out here and do it again tomorrow. We got several down through here, several more to cut. Pretty good trees. Pretty good trees. This is one of the better sets of logs we've cut in probably in a month and a half. Well, I'd say this is the best set of logs we've cut since there at Blue Springs back in late December, as far as size and quality. These don't quite match up to those because they've been thinned before, but there's still a dandy set of logs down through here. Kind of fun out here logging in the snow. Other than my pant legs being froze stiff from getting in some water. Tall trees. They can be a bear cat to get out of the timber sometimes. John, he'll get her straightened out and get her going. Let's head on out. Ready, Mikey? Pretty good trees. Pretty good trees. It'll average high as far as board feet per tree just because of the height. Yeah, I had a boo-boo there. It leaned hard. I'll explain myself. It leaned hard, and when I bored it out, I left too much hold on that front side, not enough on the back, and I'm just glad we got it down without busting the Y crotch. I mean, that's really not that bad of a deal. You can just see it took a little bit of that face there, so not too bad. Not too bad at all. A blistery day. Let's head in. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.